All right, we've talked about your crystal clear criteria. In this video, we're going to outline the differences between investing in a single family home or if you should potentially invest in multifamily, depending on your goals. I'll let Max take it away.
Yeah, I love the debate of single family versus multifamily, especially in my market. Indianapolis right now is completely underserviced for multifamily housing. There are way more people that want to own multifamily investments than multifamily investments available in general. So the debate becomes, pretty lopsided. There's way more single families than there are multifamilies, which means there's more opportunity to buy a good deal if you're just attacking single families. Unfortunately, in the current climate of the market, we are at 7% interest, at least in today. And even when we were back at 3% interest, it's always going to be easier to find cash flow in a multifamily, right? That is the tried and true preach. Buy the single family, upgrade to the duplex, go to the tri, go to the quad. That doesn't work for my market. And here's why. Yes, you might find more cash flow, but oftentimes, even though supply is short and demand is high, I still see these duplexes, tris, and quads getting listed right at the 1% rule because the competition doesn't really come in and buy much higher than what the rent rate capacity in the market is. It's very rare that I see a duplex unless if it has a high level of finish that can be attractive to house hackers, go above the 1% rule in value, which then you have to look at a whole different scenario and ratio. Is the rent growth higher than the rate of growth and appreciation? It's pretty simple math whenever you look at it. The greater number is found in the appreciation, not in the cash flow. When you're looking at your single families, however, they aren't tied to the rent rate because guess what? The Joneses want to buy the single family. It's not just out there for investors. You are in a much broader market of who's going to buy this property. If your area and crystal clear criteria says let's buy C plus and above, I'm completely excluding any C minus or below in this scenario, which would just be for cash flow in general. So you're already going to buy the multifamily. If that's the type of investor that you want to be, then great. Go buy up the duplexes, go get the cash flow. And in that lower market, you've already defined what you want. It's cash flow. So you're already going to buy the multifamily. But if you're an investor that your end goal is similar to mine, similar to Tyler, similar narrative that I hear the wealthiest people in the world say is, I want financial freedom and I want generational wealth. Well, that's found in single family appreciation in a market that's steadily growing with commercial development. This debate always comes back to your own criterion, and a lot of the things that we've talked about in the course come back to what's your why. That's why at the beginning I said, pause the video and write down your why bold on the top of your notebook. It is funny to sit here and defend the single family home and say that honestly, it's the better investment for appreciation when I own a duplex. But in the time I was just looking at cash flow. So I bought it and that's what it came down to. And if I could go back, I would have bought 2 single families. Because if they were on the same street, same location, yeah, I might lose $50 a month in cash flow on paper, but those properties would have appreciated far greater than my duplex sitting there is. The other remark that I'll make, because the topic is over multifamily housing, is looking at quadplex and triplexes in my market specifically. For those of you here for Indianapolis, if you're here for another city, move on to the next video. In my opinion, you are looking at a Midwest market, and a quadplex a lot of times is a box, right? You have 2 units on the bottom, 2 units on the top. If you're living in the Midwest, most likely you want space, and having somebody living right above you and right next to you isn't the best move, right? You're here in Indy, which is the Midwest. You want more area, more of your own space. You're not going to want somebody boxing you in. That's why when you analyze quads here, your rent rates are always going to be much lower than a duplex sitting right next door. Same thing goes for the triplex. If you're the middle unit, right, unless if it's set up like a townhome, you're probably in the attic space above a duplex. The triplexes don't really make much sense, and that's why you don't see them all too often. There are unique strategies to make quads and tris work in Indy, but I think just naturally moving up from that single to duplex to tri to quad is a really cool vanity goal. But in all honesty, if you own 25 single family homes over, two of each type of property, in 20 years, you'll thank me for that advice.
Totally depends on your goals. You can buy an awesome duplex that serves your needs very well. So analyze each investment independently and consult with your advisors.